Hi everyone, thank you for joining my session, Engaging Stakeholders in Data-Driven Decision Making. My name is Wenjun Jun. Just think of when is your birthday? And the answer is June. I serve as the Director of Institutional Research at Delaware County Community College. Today, I'm going to share our story of how we transformed our institution's decision-making process, shifting from simply providing data to actively engaging our stakeholders to use it in meaningful and timely ways. Before I dive into our transformation story, let me quickly introduce who we are at DCCC, also called Delco. Delco is located in Media, Pennsylvania, and was established in 1967. Today, we serve about 11,000 students annually across multiple campuses. On the left, you will see a map showing where our students come from across 6 counties. The darker shades represent higher enrollment, with Delaware County as our largest source, followed by Chester County and Philadelphia. Our mission focuses on transfer pathways, career readiness, and community engagement, and data plays a vital role in supporting all of these areas. That's where the Institutional Research Office comes in. We are part of the Division of Institutional Effectiveness, and we oversee both external reporting and internal decision support. Our work touches nearly every part of the college, from enrollment and retention tracking to program evaluation to helping deans and faculty make informed decisions. With this wide scope, transforming how we deliver and share data became essential. And that's what I'm excited to share with you today. During today's presentation, I will talk through 4 key areas. First, why proactive data use matters, and why making this shift was necessary. Second, how we transformed stakeholder engagement at Delco, moving from passive data requests to active and meaningful data use. Third, I will share successful stories from the past 3 years that highlight the real impact of these changes. And finally, I will offer best practices and recommendations that you might find helpful as you work to create a more data-driven culture at your own institutions. Let's dive in. Before our transformation, this was pretty much what daily life in the IR office looked like. Take a look at this cartoon. Does this feel familiar to anyone? Trying to juggle multiple projects, filling endless data requests, and managing that never-ending to-do list, all at the same time. We were essentially doing it all. Requests were coming from every direction. We were creating custom reports manually, chasing down data from different systems, include BANA and Argos, National Clearinghouse, and constantly reporting to urgent emails like, oh, can I get that enrollment report by noon? Some days it really felt like we needed 6 arms just to keep up. And as you can see in this illustration, we practically did. This really captured what things were like before our transformation. Faculty and administrators were often stuck waiting and waiting. They couldn't easily access what they needed without going through IR. That means delayed decision making. When they needed to plan classes, track student progress, or intervene to support students, they often had to wait for us to run reports. Access was limited, and that became a real barrier. Without timely data, it was harder for them to act quickly and make informed decisions. At the same time, IR was overwhelmed with requests and ad hoc reporting. Both sides were frustrated. This challenge really sparked our shift. We knew something has to change. We needed to empower stakeholders with easier, faster access to data so they could act when it mattered most. First, it all started with understanding what our stakeholders truly need. If you have worked in IR for even a few years, you probably have a pretty good sense of this. In fact, I find that within the first year in IR role, I'm already familiar with the common data requests. Things like enrollment, retention, iPads, grant, class success rate, and so on. Knowing these recurring needs helps us stay proactive and allow us to anticipate and prepare data solutions before the requests even come in. Have you ever tried offering regular trainings, maybe 3 or 4 times a semester, to faculty and staff, hoping they would eventually learn to pull the data themselves, only to discover later they forgot everything you showed them? Yeah, that's so common. Faculty and staff are not IR professionals. They don't live in data every day like we do. Often, they only need specific data for a specific purpose at a specific time. So even if they attend training, by the time they actually need the data, much of what they learned is forgotten. A few years ago, our data process was very complex. The IR director pulled data directly from BANA, and our business intelligence analysts do the same and use the BANA data to build reports in Argos, another data reporting platform. Both needed advanced programming skills, which made it hard for others to access or understand the data. In 2021, we launched a new platform, Zogotech. It's a very user-friendly system with up-to-date data right at your fingertips. Users can apply simple drop-down and filters to find what they need, even narrow down to very specific data or student cohorts. While my team and I immediately loved using it, that enthusiasm didn't automatically carry over to faculty and staff. Despite frequent trainings for both new and current employees, when the moment came, they still turned to IR for help. Those training sessions just didn't stick. Our solution was simple but powerful. Empower stakeholders to access and use data themselves instead of waiting for us. You know the saying, strike while the iron is hot. Just like this hammer here. That's exactly what I decided to do. Instead of offering trainings on a fixed schedule, which often went in one year and out the other, we shifted to target training right when they needed the data the most. Why? Because that's when people care. That's when they are motivated. When the data matters to their immediate work, trust me, they pay attention. Suddenly, it's not training, it's help. We also became proactive. I started pulling together an annual calendar of the usual data requests: enrollment, retention, course success, faculty workload, you name it. Before people even emailed us, I would reach out. Hey, it's that time of the year again. Want to hop on a quick call and talk through your data needs? And notice I didn't call it training. If you say training, half the people might run away or suddenly find they are too busy. I call it a data prep meeting. Sounds better, right? Less scary. And honestly, once they join, they often find the session amazing. How much data was available? It's like going to the grocery store. You plan to buy eggs and beef, but then, oh, muffins on sale, new chocolate ice cream, and maybe some chips too. You walk out with much more than you expected, and you're happy about it. That's how our stakeholders felt. As I showed them the system, they would start asking, can I break this down by online versus in person? Hey, what about by school district? Oh, can I see success rate by semester? Maybe summer versus fall? And the answer was almost always, yes, you can. But, and this is important, this was only possible because we had the right tools. If your system requires complex coding or it's clunky or confusing, people won't touch it. No one says, "Yay, I get to write a SQL queries today." That's why our move to Zocotech changed a lot of things. It's flexible, intuitive, and powerful. We could create dashboards and reports and just email out links. Easy. Staff could check those anytime, anywhere, and change it too. And again, training wasn't just about how to use the tool. We also coach them on how to think with data. Because having access is one thing, but using it well for decision making, that's the real shift. Even the best strategy don't deliver overnight. Building a true data culture takes time and teamwork. As the saying goes, trust is the foundation of teamwork. For institutional research, this meant rethinking our role. Instead of acting as a data vending machine where people just come, press a button, and get a report, we needed to become true partners in decision making. Our job became helping our colleagues not just get data, but make meaning from it. This shift was not just about new technology, it was about building new habits and new mindsets. Personally, my own perspective changed a lot through my doctoral work at educational leadership at Virginia Commonwealth University. Through qualitative and quantitative research and lots of real campus projects, I became more confident in helping others think like researchers too. So now, when people come to me asking for data, I don't jump straight into polling numbers. I start with questions like, sure, I will be happy to. Could you share with me why do you need this data? Or what decision will this help you make? And how can this drive positive change for our students? Sometimes they pause, maybe even surprised. But these conversations help turn simple requests into deeper collaborations. Over time, they stop asking just for reports. They start asking, can you help us explore this issue more deeply? That is when you know you're winning. And here's a tip: always give credit to those early adopters. When people see their peers leading with data, it makes them curious and encourages more faculty and staff to join in. Little by little, you build momentum and show that IR is not just about data. It's about making meaningful change together. Over the past 3 years, I have seen some truly exciting shifts. And no, it didn't happen overnight. But when it did happen, you could really feel the difference. And to give you a sense of that impact, I've been running a one person IR office, just me, and still manage to do in depth research, work on my doctoral degree part time, buy a house, sell a house just 1 month ago, and chase after a very energetic little boy, and was work as a consultant part time. So, yes, transformation matters. This will really change your life. Let me tell you two quick stories. First, one of our administrators came to me asking for retention data. Of course, my first question was, why do you need this? She explained that students passing all four prerequisite biology courses, but many just stopped there. They didn't move on. So we roll up our sleeves. I customized a report to track those students, their grades, their enrollment patterns over 3 years. It was a bit tricky. So to make things easier, I recorded the steps for her during our meeting. And guess what? She loved it. Not just the report, but the process. How easy it is. With the videos in hand, she began running reports on her own. She even started tailoring data for different courses and schedules without needing me. She became a true data explorer. And naturally, her course planning became sharper and more student-centered. Since then, I also began creating short user guide videos, no longer than 3 to 5 minutes, so users can quickly find what they need. Now, the second story is about a faculty member and Alex, our adaptive learning platform. She came in frustrated, wondering, does this thing actually work? So we partnered up. We pulled data comparing courses using Alex versus those that didn't, different semesters, different student groups, etc., etc. The result? Clear improvement in success rate and fewer withdrawals where Alex was used. She left that meeting energized, shared the findings with her peers. And more than that, she came back to me for more. She signed up for additional trainings and even joined one of my local research projects. That is when I knew we'd crossed the threshold. When people start coming back on their own, asking, can we do this too? That's real transformation. When your stakeholders move from waiting for data to wanting to create it themselves, you know cultural change is happening. The past few years have taught us something important. The post pandemic era demands faster and smarter decision making. At Delco, like many other colleges, we saw a significant increase in online students, which created a new urgency. Faculty and staff needed to act quickly. They needed access to data right away, whether to monitor enrollment, identify struggling students, or adjust instructional plans. However, there was a problem. Many IR offices, including ours at the time, were stretched thin. Sometimes it's literally a one-person show managing all the data requests and reporting. So here's the challenge. On one side, the demand for real-time, actionable data keeps growing. On the other side, the IR capacity to meet these needs hasn't expanded at the same pace. This gap has only widened year after year. That's why developing a strategy to make data more accessible without overwhelming either IR or our faculty and staff became critical. We needed to empower them to get answers themselves whenever possible and to shift from gatekeeping to partnership. Here comes the fun part, making data friendly. Because let's face it, if the first impression is too complicated, they're out before you even start teaching. So first lesson we learned at DCCC, make data access easy. Zilgotech is great, but when it was buried at the bottom of our app list under Z, nobody even noticed it existed. So what did we do? Simple fix. We renamed it Analytics. Now it is the very first item in the app list. When people ask, where do I find the data tool? I just say, it's right there, the first one on the list. Boom! Barrier number one, gone. Next, the design. We intentionally kept it simple. Why? Because when people feel confident taking the first step, they're even more likely to take the next one. Confidence builds momentum. I will discuss it in detail in the next few slides. Then we went a little further. Every time I customized a report for faculty or staff, I added bonus info. Someone asked for class success rate. I also gave them withdrawal rate, completion rate, things they may not have thought of. That's like when you go to Target for a toothpaste, but leave with snacks, a new mug, and a couple of candles. The extra data sparked curiosity. That's how people start thinking like researchers. What else can I see here? And most importantly, I gave them ownership. I name the report with their name on it and allow them to edit and play around. This makes it their tool, not just IR's tool. And when they need help later, they come back to me. But now they come back as collaborators, not as passive requesters. This is how the culture shifts happens. Little by little, one custom report at a time. Let me quickly show you how our faculty and staff see when they log in. No coding, no SQL, no complicated menus. Just four simple options. From there, they can build reports, pull a list of at-risk students, and choose from hundreds of variables, all neatly organized. They can create custom reports themselves without needing help from IR. This is my favorite part under the Navigator tool. On the left menu, I can easily click and choose filters like academic level, enrollment status, and term. I can build as many filters as I need to find a specific group of students. The do and don't options help include or exclude certain data. That is a very handy option actually. And with preset options on reports, it's easy for faculty and staff to see exactly what they need. This specific report shows students who enrolled last fall but didn't return this spring, and who are only 1 to 3 courses away from graduating. The best part? We can click the blue button numbers to email them directly. It takes less than 2 minutes to set up this filter and get the results. And did I mention it's also connected to the National Student Clearinghouse and Learning Management System in Power BI? It's a real data integrity here. That means we can build transfer students filters too and link them with all the other data we already have. Compared with Argos, which we still use, Zogotech feels like a complete fresh upgrade. It's faster, easier to use, and much more flexible. If you wonder where our beautiful dashboard and bar charts are, they were created in this report directly and are available for internal users only. We also connect Zogotech data directly with Power BI and create more data visualization there. Let me show you an example. When you click on Student Classes on the left side, the system will automatically bring up a filter. And if you want to add more filters, just hit the plus button. That opens up a full list of filter options specifically under student classes. There are actually 133,000 different options and choices just in this one category. And as you scroll through this list, you can also view the definition for each filter, so users can easily understand what they are selecting as they go. Another important feature that really makes a difference is definitions. You'll be surprised how often people ask for data without realizing that similar terms can mean very different things. For example, veterans might mean registered veteran with benefits, or it could mean those who claim to be veteran in application form. First generation students might mean those who sign up in FAFSA, or it could mean those who claim to be first gen in application. These small nuances can lead to big misunderstandings if we're not all aligned. That's why we build clear, easy to read definitions right into our system. Every data model and a variable comes with a description, so users can immediately understand what they're looking at. You can see here, users can browse definitions right inside the platform. It's like having a built-in dictionary. And even better, they can use the search bar. Just typing a keyword and all relevant data items and which table they locate pop right up. And here's where it gets even more helpful. As administrators, we can edit and update definitions anytime based on real-time, real-life feedback or questions that come up during training. For example, if we notice people repeatedly misunderstanding what attempted credits means, we can add a simple reminder right here to clear it up. All of this keeps everyone, faculty, staff, and administrators, on the same page and saves a lot of headaches down the road. It really helps reduce frustrations and errors when working with data. This is where simple reports meet flexibility. Not only can users see the top majors over the past 3 years, but they can also easily filter by key categories: Pell status, age group, age type, degree type, ethnicity, gender, transfer status, right from the top. No need to request a new report each time. They can adjust these filters on their own to get exactly what they need in real time. They can also click the blue option like report filters, measures, and columns to add more variables. They can also add more in rows and drag any of the filters up and down to get different results on table. And click the blue number to see who these students are and email them directly. This is the kind of self-service power that helps faculty and staff make quicker, smarter decisions without heavy dependence on IR every step of the way. You can find the video recording of this presentation posted on YouTube. Just search my name and the title of this presentation. Before we wrap up, I'd like to open this up to you. You've heard our story, but I know many of you face similar challenges. How have you approached building a data-driven culture? What has worked and what hasn't? And what lessons have you learned? And I'd love to hear from you if you're willing to share. So please feel free to contact me through the email, which I will share next. Thank you for your time. My contact information is on the screen. You can scan the QR code to find me on LinkedIn. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me or find my contact inquiry form on rerconsulting.com. I am more than happy to continue the conversation and answer any questions you might have.